Pickles. Well, actually cucumbers. Well, all my gardeners, we all know the problem of all our crops come in at one time, so you end up with an excess of crops. Today I want to show you how to pickle some of those crops so you can save them for later. You can save them for up to a year. First, we're going to do pickling with cucumbers. And you got to make something called a brine. A brine is a solution that you pour into the mason jar that the pickles then ferment in and become pickled. First step, make sure your cucumbers will fit inside your jars. These cucumbers were about twice as long as they need to be, so we decided to slice ours and do pickle spears instead of whole pickles. Alright, so in order to make our brine mixture, we're going to use 9 cups of water, 2 1/4 cups of white vinegar, a 1/2 cup of pickling salt, 1 tablespoon of dill seed, and then some garlic you'll need to put in the bottom of the jars. That's all the ingredients you'll need other than your cucumbers. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and start putting our ingredients into jars. First, we're going to put a little bit of dill seed into each jar. We plan on making about 4 jars. It's never an exact science. We just kind of guesstimate on how many cucumbers will fill up how many jars. So then after we put our dill seed in there, we're going to put some cloves of garlic in there. Just 1 per jar. And then we'll start putting our cucumbers in there. Just kind of hold it at an angle so you can see if they're sitting tightly. And you really want to pack them in there because that limits the amount of brine you're going to need in order to create a jar of pickles. Alright, so we just put our brine on the stovetop. We want to get that up to a boil. You want to be nice and hot. That's going to allow the water molecules to expand. And then when you pour them into the jar as they cool, they'll suck down on the lid and create a nice tight suction. Secondly, you're going to want to boil a separate pot of water that is deep enough to cover the top of your mason jars in order to fully sterilize your mason jars for long-term storage. Now, with the cucumbers we did 4 cucumbers, and that created 3 jars. So we're going to add a little bit more dill so that way the flavors disperse real good throughout the whole jar. Alright, now that our brine's ready, we'll go ahead and ladle a little bit of brine into each one. We're going to leave about 1/4 inch above the top, so nice and easy because this is super hot. And it'll burn you, I promise. So, just below the top, like so. Alright, so we boil our lids to help soften the seal so that way we'll get a nice tight fit when we go to put them back on the jars. So essentially all you got to do is throw your lid on right there like that. Then you just fasten it down like nice and tight like that. Same with that one. And we're missing 1 top. Alright, now that we've got everything jarred up, lids on tight, it's really important that you boil the jars to preserve them for a long period of time. So we just put the water on a boil and we'll set our cucumbers in the boiling water for about 10 minutes and they'll be preserved for up to a year. Alright, now let's just pull out our pickles. There they are. Now you want to let these cool down to room temperature and sit for 2 weeks and you have the best pickles you've ever had. Because you made them and grew them. Be sure to press that like button and subscribe so you can check out our future episodes uploaded every week. And check out our Facebook page, Best Gardens DIY. Thanks for watching the Best Gardens DIY channel. As always, God bless. Now this kind right here, which is not doing as well, we bought